experts have found climate change won't affect everyone equally.
The communities who've been hurt the most by the pandemic could also be the ones hurt most by a warming planet. Some of those problems are actually already happening. Groundwork Denver found that neighborhoods with the most poverty also have the highest temperatures. Fewer trees and more concrete mean the average summer day neighborhoods like Globeville and Elyria-Swansea can be 7 degrees warmer than Cherry Creek. Researchers with the Center for Public Integrity found that there were more emergency room visits for heat-related illnesses in areas with lower incomes and a history of racial segregation. The Union of Concerned Scientists found that in some parts of the country, communities of color breathe in 66% more pollution from cars than white residents. And when a natural disaster happens, Rice University found predominantly white counties got more money to recover than areas with more minorities.
And joining us now is Ian Tafoya, the Colorado field advocate for Green Latinos, a nonprofit that helps Latino leaders tackle environmental challenges.
So Ian, your group advocates for climate justice across the country. In Colorado, you've traveled across Colorado. Tell us the consequences you're seeing from climate change as we stand right now.
Well, thank you all for having me here. I actually will be finishing a trip here and visiting all 64 counties here in the state of Colorado in the last 3 years. And what I can tell you is the climate crisis is hurting the unhoused who don't have access to water, rising temperatures, outdoor workers like construction workers, farmers, farm workers, ranchers. And of course, we're seeing the impacts of individuals who live in some of the most polluted areas like Pueblo and northern Denver, where they experience asthma, cardiovascular disease, cancer, so much more. The ranchers are seeing water shortages, eroding soil, shorter crop seasons. It's really impacting everybody across the state of Colorado.
Yeah, you touched on the fact we have these urban areas and rural areas, everybody having some kind of an impact. The people who contribute the least to climate change are the ones who will bear the worst consequences. And whether that's tiny countries in the Pacific facing a future like Atlantis or communities of color in Colorado, where researchers found temps can already be hotter, as you touched on, Ian. So how can we fix that unfairness?
Well, in my work, I think what we realize is that everybody wants to be part of the green transition, the just transition to a cleaner future. But what people need is down payment assistance. It's not just enough to get tax rebates for low-income individuals to be able to shift to renewables. I think people want us to remember the little guy. I mean, whether you're a small farmer, a small rancher, a small business owner, or a mom trying to make it with 3 jobs, we know just how important that is. We need to build infrastructure that's going to protect these individuals from flooding. That also includes heating and cooling costs. We need to remediate the toxics, and we can't forget that healthcare access when you already are sick, paid family leave to be able to take care of families, all very important. And of course, voting right access, right? We see some of the lowest voter turnout in some of the communities that bear the most pollution, and we know they need their participation in order to change the course.
Yeah, I want to ask you about small changes because we talk about things that Congress or industry might do, but what about small changes individuals might make to help reduce emissions? Because George from Aurora asked if eating more veggies and eating less meat helps changing the individual carbon footprint. Does that really make a difference?
Well, I think everything is cumulative. We know that when it comes to the climate emissions. So everybody doing their part to eat a little better, to ride a bike a little bit more, to walk, it's great for everybody. But some of the little changes people can make is to participate in critical rulemakings. We have oil and gas rulemakings, ones that are related to transportation and the exhaust that's coming out of tailpipes. We can get people to come out, to make comments, to publicly speak. Maybe just pick one a year that you're going to follow along with as part of your civic duty. We need it to get tough on the polluters, and we need individuals to make changes. It all comes together as a movement, but we need to get tough and get organized.
All right, Ian Tafoya with the Green Latinos. We appreciate you taking some time as well to join us today. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
Thinking about climate change can also be really overwhelming. Ian said we all can individually make a difference, but there's actually a turn when you start thinking about what's happening, the grief that comes with it. We're going to hear from a therapist who helps people overcome climate fears. We know talking about climate change can be scary, frustrating, and downright depressing. We hope the solutions we talked about today give you some hope. If it feels overwhelming, though, that's okay.
Yeah, there actually is now a term for it. It's called climate grief. So we had a chance to talk with a therapist based in Denver named Amanda Rebel. She specializes in helping people struggling with their feelings about climate change.
It's normal to have lots of different feelings. It's normal to not feel hopeful. It's normal sometimes to feel hopeful.
Rebel told us she sees a lot of people feeling preoccupied with the uncertainty of our future. Still unsure, though, how to talk about it.
And her suggestion is find someone who gets it and shares how you're feeling, and try not to overwhelm yourself with climate content 24/7.
It really comes down to finding ways to, stay in a certain part of your brain, more the front of your brain, or the more executive functioning, where you can still think about, problem solve, creatively discuss these big, intense challenges, and not shut down, and not get too angry, and not be too depressed or anxious about it.
You wonder about our durability, because it seems like we are under assault more than ever from things that put stress on us. And if you add how you feel about climate change, if that gets to you, that's real too.
I know, there's so much. But we also, I think I felt hopeful listening to our experts about there's so much we can do. And like Ian says, caring about everybody and thinking about how we can make a difference.
And knowing what to do helps. Again, if you'd like to see this show, this town hall about climate change, we will be posting the entire show online at 9news.com.